This is Mainstream Metaphysics with your host, Nick Newmont.
Well, it's another Tuesday night in Los Angeles. Welcome to Mainstream Metaphysics. I'm Nick Newmont. In with me tonight is Gina Ann. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
And
we're coordinating.
Yes, welcome to the Halloween show.
Exactly.
As we sit here on February the 11th. Right? It's interesting. Yours is really orange, and mine is sort of an orangey red. But that's close enough. This week is Valentine's Day, right? So,
yes, it is. All about love.
All about love. All about the heart. We have a great show for you because we are going to do live call-in. And we're going to need our producer, Ed, to go back in a moment. I grabbed my phone that left on the bench because that's the number they call in on. Thank you, Ed. What would we do without Ed?
You can't see Ed, but he's here.
He's here.
He's here.
He is very here. I want to go back to last week because last week I had Craig Shoemaker on, the well-known comic. And really appreciate him taking his time to, come and do the show. And he is from Philadelphia, so obviously he is a rabid Eagles fan. And thank you very much. And so, as I do every year before the Super Bowl, I make predictions. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of different predictions. Now, when I was leaving softball practice, my fellow coach, and I do mean you, Bob Creamer, said to me, "Are you going to admit on your podcast that you did make a mistake?" And it's like, yes, I am. Because I said I felt that the Chiefs would win, and obviously they did not. I mean, Philadelphia just took them to task. But there were other things that I was right about. I not only said take the over on the over-under, which was like 48 and a half points, and I actually said that between the two teams, they would score more than 60 points, and I was right about that. I was also right about the performance of several players to the tune of Travis Kelce of the Chiefs being a non-factor. Right. And Ed, you remember some of the stuff I said?
Yes.
Now, here's the thing that's really quirky about who I said did what. And this is where you, as a fellow psychic, comes in on this. We don't always track the timeline perfectly because time is a fourth dimensional thing and time does some weird things. So the thing that I said on the show was this would be the end of the Patrick Mahomes magic. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I made a little bit of a sarcastic remark about Taylor Swift being involved in all this and people know what I said. But I said that this was the end of his magic, all right? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, and it is a team sport, he did have an off game, but his offensive line broke down a lot. But you could see that he wasn't completely there, And I just felt that something was going to shift. This was the beginning of it. And all that talk of all these dynasties and 3 in a row and all that.
Repeats.
Yep. It was coming to an end. And it's something I sense. It just happened sooner than when I thought it would happen. It happened immediately. So maybe it's my fault.
Maybe you put that air out there.
Right.
I thought the Philadelphia was going to win.
Did?
I did.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm a 49er fan, but
Ooh.
I know.
Tough year.
Tough
year. They won't stay down though.
No. They always had the best looking quarterbacks. That's how I judge it.
Oh yeah, because they have Purdy, and then before that, Jimmy Garoppolo, and
well, I'm from the Joe Montana, Steve Young,
right, and they are all good looking guys.
Yes,
there's not in the history of football. There's not a lot of ugly quarterbacks.
No,
seriously, they're Joe Burrow from the Bengals. Mm-hmm. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah, they're the leaders. I guess they're
right.
The attention.
I guess.
Well, good job. I mean, I think how humbling to say you were wrong. I really don't feel you were wrong. There's no wrong or right. I feel, the energy in which you were channeling or the message came to you, that's what you felt. I don't
Right.
think it's wrong. I mean, there is free will. There is,
Right.
you could pay refs off. So anything
Oh,
can happen.
we're not going
in
to say
between.
that, are we, football fans?
It's not a psychic cop out, but we can tell people, we know from clients from doing this for
Yep.
over 30 years, that we can say something, and if they don't, I could say, yes, you're going to get pregnant, and they could decide not to go get pregnant.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
But the energy is there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the one last thing about the Super Bowl is, unless you're from Philadelphia, and when one-sided games occur like that, the people, because Kansas City lost, and then there's 2 teams in L.A., 2 teams in New York, so the other 27, 28 cities in the country were going to sleep because it was a
Right.
boring game.
Yes.
It's not fun when the game is over at halftime, basically.
Right. There was a lot of funny energy in New Orleans as well.
Yeah.
So
well,
that I feel that kind of.
Yep, New Orleans is noted for its.
That's a lot of energy in the world that's happening too, globally, that we are
exactly.
experiencing.
So anyway, till next year, we'll see. But I do feel that there's something about, Kansas City. I think they've had a great run, but I think the other teams in the AFC, Buffalo, Baltimore, are going to step up, and you'll see new teams in the Super Bowl from now on. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So anyway,
Yeah.
What can I
I
say?
think to have integrity is a rare gift now.
Well, everybody, when it came to the election, and which is, for some people, that's a sore subject. For some people, it's a great subject. I stay right down the middle, and I haven't said this on this show since the show I did the week before the election. I was right to a great degree of how the election was going to come out. I don't go around touting that, but I watch people when they're talking about something that is evidence. Like, as a private client can come back to you and say, you were right about this, but you were wrong about this. But when it's global, like the Super Bowl or an event that takes place like an election or something like that, you are either right or wrong.
Right.
That's it. And
Black and white, yeah.
right.
I mean-
And I see people making excuses. Well, this should have, and it really, in this timeline, it's like, right now, as you and I sit here, this is the only timeline we know.
That's right. And
This is the
this is where I
evidence.
have an issue of saying, I guarantee. You can only get what the energy is. Because to say you guarantee, there is no guarantee.
There is no guarantee.
No. As a psychic, as an intuitive, as a teacher, as a human being, there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantees. I remember, and I'm sure you've had stories like this, that years ago I had this male client, and I did a reading for him and told him that he was going to meet this. I described the woman to the nth detail, and it was going to be on New Year's Eve and all this kind of stuff. And he came to me, this is probably like November, and so the following February, March, he came back for a reading, and he told me that when I did that reading for him, because I said this would be someone very significant in his life, that I freaked him out by telling him that. And then he went on to say that when I told him that this was going to happen, he was supposed to go to a New Year's Eve party at a certain hotel in Las Vegas, and he didn't go. He canceled his plans. So recently, before the second reading, he comes to me and says he went to a party in Los Angeles and met this woman that fit the description. And I went on to say that she was actually Brazilian, and she was. And he said that once they got to talking, that she was at the party in Vegas that he did not go to.
Right. See, you cannot make that up.
Right. You can't make it up.
You can't make it up.
So sometimes if it's, fate, like you're supposed to cross paths with someone, then it's going to happen.
It's destiny.
Right. So
agree.
there is a synchronicity that goes on between all of us, and
And here we are.
right here we
Here
are.
we are.
So in all this stuff's going on. How are you?
I'm doing well. I mean, I was just talking to someone, or I was channeling something about those 3 words. How are you? Because we say it like,
Flip it.
yeah, and then the answer is usually flip in as well, like, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm tired. I'm this. So it's a kind of a funny 3 words. What am I supposed to say? Oh, sucks. I could.
Right.
But in this moment, how am I? I enjoy being here. I enjoy interacting. I enjoy people who are tuning in or may tune in later. I can feel the energy.
Right.
For me, the world gets kind of forgotten, the outside world. And so in this moment, I'm well.
Good.
I'm well. I feel good. I like the energy in this room. It feels very, I'm going to say it feels kind. And that's nice to feel right now.
Right now,
Kind.
it is. Because we've talked about on last week with Craig Shoemaker, the week before.
He's great.
With,
I used to work at the Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa Beach, and I was his sound person.
Oh, for Craig?
Yeah.
Small world.
Yeah.
And then the week before, Carolyn Hennessy was on.
Oh.
You know Carolyn because you played Celebrity
Yes.
with us, and which is a lot of fun.
Yes.
And we've talked about that, the amount of, when you look at social media, the amount of hate that seems to fly around, and why. And one of the things that I was talking about with Craig yesterday morning on the phone on the way to work, that when people tout themselves in whatever capacity they are as some kind of spiritual person, whether practitioner, participant, whatever that is, and they are putting hate out, okay? Well, you can't have that kind of hate and be a spiritual person. You can be upset about something where we have what Audrey calls righteous anger, where it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go take care of this. I don't like how I was treated. But just to promote hate.
Well, that's spiritual imposters.
That's a good way to put that.
We're all human, but those are spiritual imposters.
A few weeks ago, Merlin, we quote Merlin a lot, right, Ed?
Yeah.
Merlin said, because there's all this stuff that comes out, and it has for some time, about being aware of like an antichrist, that someone would show up. You know what Merlin said? He said, it's not one, it's many. And he says, and it's in the form of those who tout the good, but are not really putting the right message out there that misleads people down that path. So on one hand, that's it's good to know. On the other hand, it's like, okay, we're not looking for one, we're looking for a lot of them.
Right. And I think we have to that's where awareness comes in, our awareness
Right.
and our intuition and following that. Because
Surely.
I feel when we meet someone, if we're not in alignment, that's how vulnerability and things get in. And
Well, sure.
We can be duped.
Well, and you said to me on the phone this morning that, and this is something that, and I'm going to say this, and you take this and run with it. Even though we're psychic, we are human.
Yes. We are human. I don't feel that we are, I feel that we are in a soul rather than the soul is in the human. I know they say we're souls having a human experience, but I feel the other way around. And so being human means free choice, free will, emotions, and therefore that higher level. When you continue to, I feel, to work on yourself in a spiritual way, a lot of the things, the human emotions, human reactions,
Right.
get less and less. But we're still human, so it all goes back for me. And this is my part, the inner child in utero. Even though we might have healed it, the triggers
Right.
are still there. It's like a scar. It's still there. It's a reminder. It's a reminder. And sometimes we reopen it.
Right. Look who's saying hi.
Oh, Becca and hi, Audrey. Oh, wait. Hi, Audrey.
There we go.
Yes. Hi, Alon.
Our physical being shapes our soul,
Yes.
of course. Well, when you said inner child, I mean, that's really your expertise because you have that character, JoJo.
JoJo. Yes. She's a fairy angel. And I've written 5 books. I'm going to be writing the 6th one. She's a role model. She's a role model for love and kindness. Is she human? No, I think there's human aspects to her. And they're for children and adults, for schools, for libraries. This was a download that I received probably when I was young, sitting at the pond with my alligator Charlie, that we had in Texas. But it didn't come to life until later on. But we all have the inner child. That's what we have in common. We all have the inner child. We all feel love. We may not know what love is, which is a perfect segue into what Valentine's Day. Not what Valentine's is, not the commercial, but Valentine's is representative of love.
Sure.
And there's many forms of love.
Well, I was working with a client today who is, going through divorce proceedings, and she still has these feelings for the guy that she's divorcing from, working through this process, and was upset because he's dating someone else, and not to take sides, but she really is more in the right here. This guy is sort of emotionally bankrupt, and she's still caught up in this, and I told her, I said, one thing that, and she is working with a therapist, I said, one thing that you've got to learn is that what you have with him is love doesn't look like this. This
doesn't
is not
feel like this.
Right. And I said, whatever your infatuation is, upset that he's dating someone else, and by the way, she's dating someone too now, is like, I think that people, I know that people in their upbringing, then from 0 to 8 and from 8 to 15, our parents write our subconscious script, and those are the role models. And so we compare as we go through life, starting to date and eventually get married, to what mom and dad did, what that looked like, and that's the norm. Right. So when we're conditioned, by our parents in those first 14, 15 years, that is the norm. And so that's what we know. We can't do something we don't know.
That's right.
We only behave according to what we know.
It's not until we develop life experience and then we have the opportunity to say, I don't want to do this, or I want to do this. Back then we were powerless. We didn't have the life experience. I feel like we all come in this world with all the knowledge and wisdom, and then life experience, we have to learn our lessons. I feel like we elevate our soul. I call this Earth School. So every lesson we elevate our soul. And yes, our parents shape us, give us the mold, and then we get to determine how we want to be.
Right.
So, for example, my parents hit us. I've never touched my children. I just never, I don't yell at them. I've never put a hand on them. There's no right or wrong. It's just I chose to not do that. I didn't feel it was necessary.
You grew up in an Italian background.
Italian, so there was a lot of, very loud.
Well, you and I have talked before about the wooden spoon.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We did.
Yes.
You think we're kidding?
Yeah.
We got hit with the wooden spoon.
Yeah, that's right.
And because
it's the one you lick from and the one you got lickings from.
Yeah, that's well put. Exactly. I remember going into some kind of sort of an antique novelty kind of store when I was a little kid, and my grandmother, my mother's mother, thought it was funny that there was a paddle, that they bought, and it had on there, it was painted, and it said "Heat for the Seat," and so it was marketed back then in 1960 whatever.
Are you sure it wasn't for like S&M and things like that?
No, it was not. It was a child that was painted on there.
Oh my goodness.
And I was, that's what I was going to get. I was going to get heat for the seat.
Heat for the seat. Okay, see? And in Texas, at our school, they could give SWATs. So like I have 3 brothers. My younger brothers got SWATs.
Wow. Did you go to Catholic school?
No, I didn't.
I did. Mm-hmm.
No, I was Catholic. No. It was a public school, but they gave SWATs.
Well, I saw kids
from a paddle.
Yeah, I saw kids get hit because when I started first grade, it was 1961, and the nuns, the Sisters of Divine Providence, and all that. They looked like the nun they called the Penguin in the Blues Brothers.
Oh, right.
I'm serious.
Right.
That's exactly how the big habit and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they looked like that.
And did you get the ruler on the hand?
I never had that happen.
But
I saw kids get the ruler on the back of the knuckle.
Right.
Kids would get their fingers closed in a drawer.
Oof.
I'm serious. I saw this girl say something to one of the nuns, called her up to the front of the class. She smacked her in the face.
Look at that. I guess that was their way of obedience.
Nowadays, that would be spelled lawsuit.
Right. Absolutely. Yes, it would. Or nowadays, the kids hit back.
Yeah. Well, Craig Shoemaker in his old routine from the mid-90s talk about, his mom saying, go get me something to hit you with, right?
And don't pick a small switch.
Right. But I got to the point where, I got tired of being hit. And so if my mother went to hit me, I'd put my elbow up and she'd hurt her hand on my elbow.
You break a blood vessel.
And she's like, put those down so I can hit you. I was like, no.
Yeah. Defiant. I like it.
Right.
You do what you have to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Boy.
We're opening up a lot of inner child. It's getting warm in here.
Exactly. And
I'm sure my kids have stories about me as well.
Of course. And you know what? I have to tell you something. As we sit here today, we're no worse for wear on that. I mean, it didn't kill us. We weren't abused or anything like that. Not that I don't hit my kids. I don't do that. But, we've learned how to treat kids. And again, you write the children's books. We learn how to talk to kids as if they are people, not little kids.
There we go.
I remember, with Audrey, she would say to the girls, use your words. Use your words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
teaching them to talk, regular talk, not baby talk. Becca's writing in there, sometimes I want to hit my kids.
Sure, we're human.
Your kids are way bigger than you, Becca. Yeah, go ahead and hit them. I want to see what happens. It'll look like an episode of WWE. There's Becca going over the top rope.
I don't know. She's pretty tough. I'd make some bets.
That's funny. Hey, look, it is what it is. But now we're in a time where, really we're in the Aquarian age with Pluto in Aquarius. We're transforming into a different form of evolution now. We really are. And we are seeing things happen before our eyes that are revelations. You and I, people like Audrey, Becca, Ed, and some of your people that watch, we do have our eyes open and we are expecting these revelations to happen. I've been talking for months that in May and June, Neptune and Saturn align, which is going to really expose a lot and will topple situations and circumstances that shouldn't be there. The last time, it was the Berlin Wall. The time before that, end of World War, the Korean War, and Stalin died. Before that, it was the end of World War I. So this is a very significant episode in our lifetime that's coming up this May and June.
Major transformation, transition. Everything has to be cleaned out of the closet.
Right. Well,
I mean, in the closet.
Right.
And out.
When I first became a therapist in the early 90s, I coined this phrase, which is, you can only sweep so much dirt under the carpet before there's a lump.
Yeah, before you trip. I always say, you sweep enough, you're going to trip over it.
Right. Yeah.
We're on the same mindset.
We are. Jeez.
Great minds think alike.
Clunk. God. So as we move forward, in the weeks, months, the year ahead, what is your third eye telling you and showing you?
Well, we have a full moon, and I really like the moons. I do feel like there's a lot of power and energy in it.
We haven't talked about that yet.
And
Tomorrow's
that's
a full
in
moon.
Leo.
Yes.
Which, it's all full of fire and energy, and we say almost the same things. It's getting rid of things, but this is a big one, because it's the first what I call full moon, and Leo is all about energy and action and taking the center stage. Aquarians are very strong-minded, so this is about what I call personal energy too. It's about taking. We're going to take things more personal right now. So in that area, that's what's happening. As far as the third eye of what I've channeled, what's going to be happening, I feel spring is going to be, as you said, I didn't know what was happening astrologically. I go to you for that. I don't have that gift. But around March, April, May is when we're going to see some sort of, because it's going to be a rocky road this whole year.
I agree.
I mean, for all of us, we're going to have to, what I call, it's like forging the fire. Remember, you go through the fire, it's like steel going through the fire, and it comes out stronger. That's what we're going to have. So we're going to feel a little bit of the burn.
Well, and
all of us. I mean, all of
right.
us. And so what does that mean specifically? Okay, well, financially. I think occupations are going to change and shift. I feel a lot of our so-called illnesses that is compounding right now is going to shift.
Yeah.
That's what I see specifically. I feel relationships. I think we're going to go back to the old school, to the 80s, where we want to meet someone. I feel like a lot of the digital and electronic is going to be phased out, except for money. There's going to be a shift in money.
That part I agree with you wholeheartedly, because there's a lot of things that I look at and actually own where it's a form of crypto, but with solid value to it. Okay, it's not like in the air. It's
showing itself.
But and by the way, you're really right, because when we go back to 2 years ago now, and when the planet Pluto came around to itself, which takes 248 years, in the chart of the United States in the House of Finance, this was this transformation of the old way of finances into the new way. And about 7-8 years ago, Merlin said in a channeled session that the financial system that we have in this country, he described it as old machinery, and it's moving so fast that it's breaking, that it will have to be replaced. And 8 years ago, we didn't know exactly what he meant by that. Now we know what he means by that.
Yeah,
now
no,
it's showing
I
up.
totally get it. I mean, for me, I like touching the money. I like touching a book. I think
Right.
we're going to go back to some of those ways. I do. And in how we connect. Like right now, the whole goal, it feels like every time we have a tragedy or a trauma, that's when unity happens. But then as human beings, we talked about this the other day.
Right.
We go back to the old behavioral patterns. If we could just stay in that alignment and we stick together, wow. But it's, I hate you because of this. Not even the person of who they are, just their belief system.
Right.
So until we collapse that and conjoin that.
Well, I think that when we get to this May and June alignment, I think a lot is going to come to the surface, because Neptune is illusion and Saturn is reality. And what that's going to do is crush the illusion that people are living under and bring the reality to the surface. And in a manner of speaking, people will know, like, who's the good guys, who's the bad guys, okay? Who has your best interest at heart and who doesn't. This is what's coming.
And this is real life. When people are
Right.
at the highest of their of success, whatever your definition of success, or when the shit hits the fan, you know the essence of a person. That's what comes out.
Right.
You know the backbone.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
The true backbone.
Absolutely. And we need reality, because I've been saying for the last few years, and it's not a political dodge, that the truth is we don't know what the truth is
Until we get there.
until we get there.
Right.
But and that's a big but.
Like they say.
we're gonna or if David Letterman would say, that's a big ass.
Yes, exactly.
That's a big ass but, meaning we are going to know the truth. That's the point. Things are going to start to come out that will be so undeniable that people go, oh, okay.
Right.
You
But
know,
a lot of people also believe their own stories that they create in their head, and they won't budge on those stories.
and that's okay.
That is
Now,
okay.
now, look at the toward the end of the Super Bowl halftime show. What that last song was all about with Kendrick Lamar. Okay, and then it flashed "Game Over." I a lot of people say, well, they don't like rap and they don't understand what he's saying and all that. If you don't know what that last song was all about, it was that song called "Not Like Me," Not Like Us. Okay, he was calling out Drake,
Right.
and against pedophilia.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
that's what that song is all about.
Yes. Yeah. That's why Rihanna was on Rest. Yeah, and there is a lot of, I think all the subliminals are coming out and being exposed.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, when
And
you,
it's not just the entertainment field. It's not just
Right.
the music. It's across the board. I
Right.
mean, I've worked for the government. I've worked in the education system. I've worked in the metaphysical system. I've worked in the medical. It's across the board.
Yeah, in the 90s, when I was a lot younger, I used to do paracriminology. And I choose not to do that anymore because psychically you're having to go in and see what happens and stuff like that, and that's not fun. I don't go to the movies and watch horror movies, so
Yeah,
why am I going to do that kind of paracriminology?
Yeah, I worked felony court, so it was quite an education at 18.
Mm-hmm.
Quite an education.
Yeah.
And then I knew, it's funny you said horror films, because when I worked court, I'm like, oh, this is what horror films, that's actually real.
Mm-hmm.
I was in that naivete.
Well, what happens is, you know how they say, like, what is it? Art imitating life.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, if you can look at events that are happening now and you go back through the years to a movie or something like that, you can actually see where they're showing you that long before
Yes.
it happens.
Yes.
You know, last year, whatever it was, Audrey and I went back and watched the first 3 episodes of the X-Files, which was like 1989 or whenever that was, when that came out. And in the second or third episode, they were talking about something then that absolutely was fictional, but it actually happened. Yeah. And we looked at each other and went, holy crap.
Well, The Simpsons apparently have predicted everything.
Don't!
Right, exactly. So we're looking at the wrong programs.
Right.
This is why I want JoJo, Fairy Angel JoJo, to be on TV. So we can get back to the old school cartoons of values and morals and not being politically correct.
Right, exactly.
Let's have fun again. Let's play. That's my dream.
Well, the other day when I was talking to Craig again, and you know, I'm a handful of years older than him. You know, we're both.
Handful of you.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
Yeah. Well, I am. You know, and one of the things that, boy, and here we are, dating ourselves a bit. That when growing up, and for anyone that's an approximation of our age, watch the Ed Sullivan Show, which was the quintessential variety show of the 60s and somewhere into the 70s. And back in those days, the comics that were on talked about the foibles of their ethnicity. Mm-hmm. You know, Pat Cooper was Italian, John Biner and George Carlin were Irish Catholic.
Right.
And then you had all the famous Jewish comics like Alan King and Shelley Berman and Myron Cohen. And then you had the African-American comics like George Kirby, Flip Wilson, Richard Pryor.
Oh my gosh, Eddie Murphy.
They came along later.
Later, but still, yeah, those were the classics.
Right, and they told the stories about their cultures and their ancestries, and it was hysterical. And
the television shows, the Jeffersons, All in the Family.
Right.
Everything. It was all out in the open without anybody feeling, oh no, offended. This is just how it was. And
it wasn't about being racial slurs or racially biased. It was really embracing the culture of whatever that is or was.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And we've become, the pendulum has come so far to where we're so politically correct that we've homogenized society.
Mm-hmm. We've stripped society.
Right.
We've completely raped society of any kind of, so to speak, of any kind of freedom.
Right. And I think what's going to happen is going to start to come back the other way, where
we'll have big hair again.
Right. Exactly.
In
That's
neon
80s.
colors. I love the 80s.
And you can be on the hood of a car in a Whitesnake video.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I'm down.
Right?
I'm down. Yeah. And bring back Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin.
Right. You know, I noticed.
Sammy Davis Jr. I mean,
right.
Look. Right.
Yep.
The greats.
Oh, the Rat Pack, all those guys.
The Rat Pack. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Monty Cosby. All these famous singers.
Yeah, from way back.
Way back.
You know, Audrey and I, good. This looks like the entertainment. Welcome to entertainment tonight.
Exactly. With the two Italians,
Right.
Devil Eye.
So because of personalities, we didn't watch The Voice for a few seasons. It's like, and that's all right. That's why they make chocolate and vanilla. Right?
So you can have it separately or together.
Right, exactly. No, that's a Gemini speaking, separately or together.
Yeah, I know Geminis.
Right. We Librans can't make up our mind.
Leos will take it all.
Right, exactly. Mine. So now the crew that's on The Voice, NBC's going to have to pay me some royalties here for touting their show.
That's what we should do. M&M's. See, look, you have M.
Oh,
Our lucky M&M's.
These are the good luck M&Ms.
I'm always going to take the green one. You know why?
Why?
Well, you have to find out what the green ones are for.
I took the red one, and I took the red pill.
I love red.
I took the red pill a long time ago.
The red pill. Is that the blue pill? Wait, which?
The red pill.
Okay.
That's when you go.
Got it.
Your buddy there says Geminis are the best.
The best.
There we go. Good. That's funny. No, it's like
When's your birthday?
October 20th.
The 20. Okay, it was in October.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I am a Libra. Yeah, Ed's a Libra, early Libra. Becca's a Libra. Audrey's a Libra.
Oh my goodness, a lot of balance being.
Yep. No, we think we're balanced.
I get along with Libras. I'm a Leo.
Yeah. And well, I have 3 planets in Leo.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm very Leonian.
So you don't like the stage at all?
The last time we played Celebrity, I acted something out that they were all howling, but we'll save that for another time. I used to act.
Yes, I know.
So, by the way, if we're talking about Leos, it is a Leo full moon. And one of the things I wanted to say about that is that Linda,
Linda's a Libra too.
Back in Joyzy. Linda's from Joyzy.
Hi, Linda.
There's an issue between the Leo and Aquarius, and it's how boundaries are maintained or compromised. Because Leos are all about boundaries, and Aquarians are the big whatever, okay? And so with this full moon, one of the things that people want to look at is their own inner revelations, because the moon is your inner feelings, and really looking at in the next couple days, because the full moon here on the West Coast is at 5:53 a.m. tomorrow morning, okay? 8:53 back on the East Coast. And we have to look at how do we really feel about things in this full moon. And because it's a Leo full moon, I always say at the end of what I post, and I did post on Facebook, I always say, remember to howl. But what I said in this one was, no, don't howl. Roar.
Roar. That's right.
Roar.
That's right.
Yes, this is time to express.
That's right.
Now, at the time of the full moon, the moon is forming a square to Uranus. Please don't get crazy, because when Uranus hard aspects the moon like that, people have a tendency to fly off the handle a little bit and maintain right now with this full moon. Don't lose your mind.
Yeah, I feel like it's neutrality, staying really grounded.
Yep, that's really important because Leo is ruled by the sun. Okay, so you put the sign that's in the moon, which is really ruled by the sun. This means that a lot is going to come to light over the next couple of days. There'll be something that happens in the next couple of days that'll be like a big aha. You watch.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Something will happen of a
I just heard someone say
global import
Okay.
that will, that we want to look at.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's
okay.
Yeah. This won't be another one of those full moons where people are, we
La 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 la
right.
la la. Yeah.
No, this is a full moon that's going to make an impact.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
maintain.
I feel stay still.
Yeah, that would be
stay still.
That would be good advice. Now, if you would like to ask Gina Ann a question, because we still have about 15, 17
Oh my
minutes.
goodness, that went by fast.
I know. Well, you're Italians. We talk.
With our hands.
Right. All over the place. It's back there laughing at us, of course. If you would like to ask Gina Ann a question, then call in to 865-8770. And Ed, if you're able to put that up on the screen, fine. If not, that's okay. 818-865-8770. Operators are standing by.
Exactly.
And we throw in the Ginsu steak
Look,
knives.
they have double the pleasure, like the gum. We'll
Right?
both read them.
Give it to me again. 85.
818-865-8770.
In the fun of love and Valentine's Day, again, not the commercial. I love hearts. I've always loved Valentine's Day because if it's an excuse or a day that we can celebrate love and hearts,
Right.
why not?
Right, exactly. Why not?
And I wanted to do a documentary on what is love. Because for everyone it's different. For me, love is loyalty. Love, and I downloaded this. Love is not just emotion; it's a vibration. It's remembering who we truly are. Like I get emotional even saying the word love. Now, I mean, it's love for a friend, love for a parent, love for a partner. There's
Right.
many forms of it. And so, what I would like to ask all of you, good, is what do you think love is?
Thank you for calling Mainstream Metaphysics.
Hi, I was just listening to Newmont, and I have a question for my birthday on Valentine's Day.
There we go.
Your birthday's on Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Wow, happy birthday. So here's Gina Ann. You can ask her a question.
Hi, what is your name?
Valerie.
Hi, Valerie. So, what are you wanting to? I mean, what I get for your birthday? This is. I'm not going to say the birthday is your age. That has nothing to do with it. What I feel this birthday is holding for you, or what you would like to invite it, is something new. I keep. It feels like you're a little bit like I wouldn't say stuck, but you have one like both feet planted and afraid to move forward. So, yeah, okay. So breathe.
And not due to me, due to circumstances.
Yes, I hear that.
Situational.
You're just showing me energetically. So I want to invite you that it's okay. It's temporary. Whatever. I'm trying not to reveal everything, like to reserve your privacy. I can feel it. I feel it really in your throat and your sacral. Ugh. Okay. So. I would say this birthday, because it is on Valentine's and because it is love, true love is freedom. It is about what I call self-care. It is about caring for someone else. Okay? What is something... May I ask you a question?
Sure.
Where did you go for comfort as a child? Or who did you go to?
I went to nature, roller
There we
skating,
go.
bike
There we
riding.
go. Okay. So, that's your safe place. I'm so dizzy with you. So I'm very dizzy with you because you've got a lot in your head and you're not resting. And so I'd say you're a little bit sleep deprived. And you've got something in your left inner ear. Ugh.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I got to let that go.
I was going to go to the doctor.
Okay, so I feel
that.
that.
Actually.
Okay. I'm doing some energy work. I'm really hot. Okay. So that's because energetically, spiritually, you're not listening to spirit. I work in the essence of God, of whatever your God is. So, yes, you can go to the doctor. I keep feeling once that gets what I call unplugged or unstuck, things will, I'll say, unroll because you're very tightly wound.
Well, I'm hoping. I heard the beginning of the episode about May, I think, that
Yes.
truth is going to come to light.
There we
That's
go.
what I'm hoping.
Yes.
And that will set me free for sure because, situational
Right.
life and business partners and
Okay.
just,
It will, but let's not wait till then. Let's start in action right now. We're not going to, it's like, I'm not going to go to a party until I lose 10 pounds. No. We're going to go to the party, and then you're going to go to another party when you lose the 10 pounds. Okay?
Right.
So I understand the situation you're talking to, and I keep getting a lot of money, and it's going to open you up. Again, with you, I just keep hearing freedom, freedom, freedom.
right.
Okay? So, again, if you'd like, I'll let Nick take over, but obviously if you need further assistance, because we are on air, and I can see and feel what's happening. But
Thank you.
the ear is
I will
really
definitely
prevalent with
reach
me.
out.
Okay. All right. Happy birthday. Much love to you. Know that you are loved.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
You
Valentine's
too.
Day.
Thank you so much for
Thank
calling.
you for calling in. Loved hearing your voice.
Thank you. I'm Linda's friend, by the way, from New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay, great.
Right. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining. I
Thank
love these
you.
calls. These are the best.
They are.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Nick.
All right.
thanks.
Have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
That was good. Well done.
Oof.
Yeah, you were really getting it. You were connected, and you were getting a lot of energy there, picking up on a lot.
And what's good is like, now it's gone.
Well,
That's fine. I love calls in.
and you gave her a lot of hope and a lot of encouragement there, and she definitely felt a lot better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for observing and holding space, all of you for holding space. And again, sometimes I don't know what's coming out, so I just know what I'm feeling. And so,
sometimes the words of encouragement actually have a placebo effect where it helps them get over the hump, and it lets people know, well, I can.
yeah.
It's
Yeah, I was trying not to. I could see the whole picture, like it's like a movie screen, but I wanted to respect the privacy and
Sure.
the delicate situation in which she's in, because we don't want to jeopardize anything right now.
Right, exactly.
So that's why I said if we want to take it to another private level, that's fine.
no, that was good. That was
thank
very
you,
good.
thank you very much. I love this. I kind of want a psychic hotline. Can we open one up?
Well, we could.
I want a psychic hotline. I really do. Not those fake ones. Not a fake one. Not those
Right.
ones that's 1-800 and it's like $100 a minute. Like, let's help people.
Well, and that's the idea. That's why we have these gifts. I mean, as we are human, we do have to earn a living. Okay?
Yes.
So we can earn. I'll tell you something crazy. Going back into the early 90s, and back in those days, I was charging, oh my God, what? $75 for a reading. Mm-hmm. Okay? And I can say this. So, one of my clients was a soap opera actress, and at that time in the early to mid 90s, Sylvia Brown was very known.
right.
Okay, and this client of mine said that she had a reading with her, and it was $750. Okay.
Wow.
And I asked this woman, I said, what did she tell you? And she looked at me very politely and said, nothing you haven't told me, Nick.
Wow. Wow, there you go.
So, I mean, in this work, if you feel that you are worth that, everybody's...
See, like my throat, because it's hard for me to... it's because, I have a difficult... I know the worth, but it's like asking.
In my clientele, I could charge way more than what I charge. But if I did that, then what would happen is I would isolate all these other people that really need me and wouldn't be able to afford me. And what I charge, I charge a good amount for what I do, which is in today's world is very reasonable. But it's...
Yeah, I feel I'm competitive as well. I had to have encouragement from people that I love to say, you need to charge more. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. And when I needed assistance, and I particularly didn't have money, or I came up with it, or for my children, you come up with it if you really want it. And so really learned, like when you said that 750, my ear, okay. Yeah, and I feel, you don't want to put a value amount, but it is valuing our craft.
Well,
and I used to think, this is, God gave me these gifts, but no.
Right. Look, you are entitled to make a living. You live in California, like I do. This isn't, Indiana, Arkansas, where the cost of living is 1/4 of
correct
what it is.
I'd like to, let's step it up. Because I feel the more we can, the more we could help.
See, Audrey wrote, let's create a psychic hotline. So, yes, we could do that.
We'll call it something a little bit more creative and fun.
Well, back in the 97, 98, I had auditioned for a radio show that was being brought about by the psychic network, Dionne Warwick's thing that she started.
Yes.
And so there were all these people that were part of that network that worked those lines.
Yeah.
And I went in there, and they wanted a moderator, they wanted a female psychic and a male psychic. and I guess I blew them away.
Beautiful.
So I was co-host as long as they kept that going. I was a nightly, Monday through Friday night. I would leave my work in West LA, go to Universal Studios area, and from 7 to 11, which was 10 on the East Coast till 2 in the morning, and it was live call-in. We had a lot of great topics. We got tons of phone calls, and it was wild.
I would do video calls too, because some
Sure.
people, that's what I do in my private practice anyway. I do in-person video calls and phone. So as you can see, I can read. It's whatever the energy presents itself.
Right. And
pets too. I talk to pets. I do.
that's cool.
I do.
That is really cool. I don't do that. I sense them, but I don't. I'm not a pet psychic.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I just did it yesterday. A beautiful, lovely dog.
That's neat.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
And was there the information that the dog owner was able to corroborate and go, yeah, that's true? Or
yes, she said it was helpful.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's
the only
neat.
issue is this is what I have an issue. I tell this to everyone. It's like a cardiologist. Cardiologists can't perform surgery on themselves. It's difficult, or I don't have that channeling for myself.
Right.
Like, Trixie, like I see her and I feel her, or my dad will leave me coins and I'm like, oh, or I'll ask a message, but I can't tap in maybe because I'm emotionally invested.
And we do get on our own way at times. I mean, even with my family.
Can you read yourself and read your family?
Yes, I can.
Wow.
But when it comes to the energy work, here comes a call.
Oh, here comes a call.
Thank you for calling Mainstream Metaphysics.
Hey, I'm here in Thousand Oaks. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. So I wanted to do a check-in with my mother, who's about to get a valve replacement on her heart. Do you guys pick up anything on that?
What kind of valve is she receiving?
They didn't say. I don't know exactly.
Okay, I would ask that. It's really important.
Okay.
Okay. What are you asking? Is she going to be okay? Is that what your thought is, or let's get to what you're actually, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. So, is she going to be okay? Listen, I don't predict who stays and who goes. I feel like she is, okay. I feel like she is on another paradigm that she doesn't recognize of herself. Okay. So she's going in with full capacity and she still wants to be here. I'll just say that.
Okay.
She definitely wants to be here, but she has a certain fragility that she hasn't experienced before. Okay?
Right.
And that's what's scaring her, and that's why other energies are picking that up. Correct? Okay? So what I would encourage you to do, you are not responsible for her, okay? You are not responsible for that. You've carried your whole life being responsible. I can see you. Okay? So what you are responsible is love and support. And love is a big word for today, okay? I feel like she'll be okay. Before she goes in, what she shows me, her left hand is, hold her hand. She has a lot of energy in her hands, left hand especially, because there was something with her mom that she did not receive.
Okay, will do.
Does that resonate?
Totally
with her mom? Because I feel her mom is going to be watching, your grandmother.
Well, she didn't like her grandmother.
I know that.
She didn't.
I know that. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Okay. It doesn't matter that she didn't like her.
Thank you so much.
She's still watching, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
She's not like she was in the human form here.
I was just going to say
okay,
that
I'm
she's
telling
probably different.
She's
right?
very different, and she's still very brisk, but she's not the same human, I'll say narcissism that she was here.
Good.
There you go. So it's clear because we had to clear the genetic lineage of that.
Right.
And you have done that.
Cool. I love that.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much. I
Yes.
appreciate it.
One thing I do want to add is that my guides are showing me one of these, and that means that it's not time for her to come over. Okay.
See, I can't go there.
Okay.
I can bring them in. I can't. I just do. See, I'm getting I'm getting nauseous. Because I don't go there.
Right.
I didn't feel she's going anywhere, but
But they were
eating a
going like,
popsicle afterwards. But yeah, I felt like she still wants to be here. But I thank you for doing it because
Sure.
I bring them all in.
All right.
I party
You guys,
them
thank
in.
you so much. I really appreciate
thank
it.
you
Thanks
for
for the
calling.
call. Great call.
Great show, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Yep. Good job.
Good job. Thank you. That's I will never go to that place. I can just feel. Yeah, I just won't.
So before we part company, we have a minute to go. So one of the things that when it comes to doing a psychic hotline is that for you and myself, you could appear on this show, or we could create a show like this on another night where we're on more often, okay? So people get used to us. So you can grow it organically. Because when you say start a psychic hotline, then there's, oh my God, we got to set up this and we got to set up that.
Yeah.
And then as humans, we get caught up in all these details.
Oh, yeah.
That you can't do this until you do that.
I'm just the creator and spit it out.
Exactly.
and it just popped in my head, and it'd be like, I'm already doing that, but on a wider scale,
of
and
course.
getting value for it, of course.
Of course.
And I think once you answer one question, it can,
Right.
people are like, oh, okay. These aren't implants; these aren't actors that called.
Right. Exactly. We're not AI. We're
not
real.
AI.
See, I can pinch her.
Ow!
So,
Just
see?
kidding.
We're awake,
Right.
Anyway, thank you.
Hey, we're
Thank
not
you.
woke, but we're awake.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Oh my! Thank you for coming on
Thank
the show.
you, always.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
out here and doing this. We will have you back. Audrey will have you back on her show as we part company in 2 weeks. Alexandra, who channels Golden Arrow, will be on, and March the 4th. Well-known jazz musician, and oh my God, this guy Freddie Ravel, who I've circled back with a few weeks ago, who is incredible. In fact, I have his CD that came out in 1991 or 92, whenever that was. He was a producer, music coordinator for Earth, Wind, and Fire for a while.
Wow.
He performed with Santana and worked with Santana, and he will be here in studio.
Nice.
And he is going to show what is between the notes and the work that he does with corporations using music. And these big, it's really cool. After the Antidote event with Craig Shoemaker, Freddie was there. Audrey and I had dinner with Freddie, and what he does when he goes out to corporations and these big conferences is fabulous.
Amazing.
We'll talk about that. And also, if you're interested, Freddie will be performing on February 23rd. That's a Sunday at Vibrato. That's Herb Alpert's club, and that is on the top of Beverly Glen and Mulholland. I am going to that. Craig Shoemaker is going with his girlfriend. So if you have never seen Freddie Ravel play, you owe yourself the treat because he is fabulous. Anyway, you should go.
That would be fun. I love it. Okay.
Anyway,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you
once
so
again,
much.
thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. As always, appreciate you. Really do. And more than ever, as I say at the end of every show, please take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And I will see you back here next week. Good night, everyone.
Amen.